All right, hello and welcome to the San Jose State Weekly Football Press Conference. Spartans with one regular season game remaining. It's on Thanksgiving Day, 12:30 kickoff against the rival Fresno State Bulldogs on Thursday, November the 25th. You can get your tickets at 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com. It is a Crazy George Bobblehead Day giveaway, so that'll be fun. It's on FS1, and our pregame coverage on 860 AM KTRB and the Spartan Radio Network will begin at noon. With that, we'll welcome in San Jose State head coach Brent Brennan.
Hello. All right. Obviously a unique scheduling deal this year. I feel like I've been saying that a lot, but coming off of a really tough night, Saturday night here against Utah State, we're busy getting ready for Fresno. I thought Utah State was a very good football team. They were excellent in all three phases, and the game started out kind of fun for us, and then obviously, just started to go the wrong way. And when we turned the ball over and with some of the penalties, just the timing of those things and how those situations stacked, ended up with a really lopsided score, and just very, very disappointed. Like I said on Saturday night, I have to coach us better. And so we're busy getting ready for Fresno. This is a huge game. It's the biggest game of the year. The Valley Trophy's at stake. They're playing good football. It seems like every week we're playing the best team in the conference. It's just kind of our schedule just kind of lined up that way. But they've got good players everywhere. Their quarterback is playing incredibly high level. Rivers is back. He's dynamic. He's super hard to defend, and their skill. And then, defensively, they play extremely hard. They have really good players. You watch them play. They are opportunistic. They play the football well when it's in the air. They're physical. So again, another very, very tough challenge for us. And it's going to be an awesome day, right? It's Thanksgiving. We're on national TV. We're playing a meaningful game in November, which is really what you want. I got tons of respect for Coach DeBoer and that staff. We know a bunch of those guys. Obviously, we've been around them a lot, and they're doing a fantastic job there. So like I said, very, very big challenge for us, and we're excited to get to practice tomorrow.
All right, we'll open up to questions. Vitas, go ahead.
Coach, this literally brings another meaning to the word that you can have your gravy too. After you can celebrate a Thanksgiving meal with a postseason bid if everything goes right on Thursday. What was the team like on Sunday coming back from that tough loss, and what did you see from them as they approach this last challenge of the regular season?
The first time we're going to get with the team is tomorrow. That part of it is because we have a bye. We've had a lot of funky travel and some late nights, and we need to get healthy. We need to get, our bodies fresh and our minds right. And so, we will start that process with them tomorrow. There's been a lot of players around the facility and in the weight room and the training room, and everybody's excited about this. They are in a really good headspace. There's a lot of pride on this team. This team has been through an incredible amount of stuff together over the last 4 or 5 years. And so, I think their hearts and minds will be in the right place.
Jackson Moore, over to you.
Yeah, Coach, we got a list of the seniors you're honoring, but could you share a bit about kind of that complicated situation and how you're handling it for Senior Day?
I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah, just given that, so you have a lot of players listed as seniors, but have the opportunity to come back. I assume those players will not be honored on Senior Day.
That's correct. Yeah. It's kind of funny having this press conference a week away from the game, or 2 weeks away from the game. But the Senior Day is always a really special moment. I think it's special for the players. I hope it's special for the fans, but the players and their families. This is kind of that. It's like walking across the stage at graduation. I think for lots of guys, this moment, their last time taking the field in Spartan Stadium, is more memorable than even the graduation thing. And so it is special. It's always awesome to see the families. And like I mentioned, this group of seniors has just been through this, really incredible journey together. And so, it's always a special day to honor them and to, celebrate, their time and what they've contributed to the program.
Max Miller, over to you.
Coach Brennan, so as Justin said, it's a crazy George, bobblehead night. It's for the fans. It's on Thanksgiving. There's going to be a lot of
one of those.
Family. I mean, we got to get you one, of course, but no. So one thing that, as the Spirit, we've got a feature article coming out. It's called the SJSU Duck. He's almost a San Jose State athletic super fan. He goes to every football game. He's big into the volleyball games. And I just want to talk more of a general base on what the fan engagement this year has been like, with no fans last year and obviously not being able to play at CFQ at times last season. What has it been for you and for the players this year with fans and with the full house? I mean, there was a 16,000 on open. Can you tell me what that's been like this year?
It's been awesome. Our fans, our students, the city of San Jose showing up to support the players. It makes such a big difference, right? And I think, lots of times I think it's more challenging in a big market like the Bay Area where you're sharing fans with Stanford and Cal or the 49ers or the Giants or the Warriors. There is a lot of competition for that discretionary dollar. I think our administration has done an awesome job with our game day. That part is so exciting to me. Every week I come and I address some of our donor base and our alumni before the game. And every week this year, I've made them look over to the parking lot and just look at how full that is. And people are tailgating. We have a huge crowd on our practice field, just doing normal college football game day experience. And they've done an awesome job building that up. And I think now, we're playing better football and there is a great experience that comes along with coming to a game at CFQ Stadium. And that's something that, I understand the convenience of sitting in your house and, whatever, the beer is cheaper or whatever, but you don't get the special feeling and the energy of a college football game with the band and the cheerleaders and the students and the crowd and the opponent, and you hear the hits and the whistle and the excitement of that. It's just been awesome this year. I'm hoping people show up big time for the Fresno State game, because Fresno is going to bring a lot of fans. They always do. And we need San Jose fans, and we need our students, and we need our alums in the Bay Area to show up and to give us that home field energy and that home field vibe that we've been, so fortunate to have this season.
Vitas, back to you.
Yes, Coach. You mentioned Hainer and Rivers and Jordan Mims and some of their skill guys, and all those guys are Bay Area guys who I'm sure some of them, if not all of them, you tried to recruit, and they won that battle just like you have on your roster. A lot of guys from that Fresno State was looking at and ended up choosing you guys. How those recruiting battles, how important is this game just to try to maybe convince or flip somebody who's trying to choose between the two right now?
No, I think that's really important. The only one that we had any conversations with was Hainer. And that's when, we were not playing good football, and he ended up, choosing to go down there to Fresno. Rivers and Mims were both, like, I got hired in 16, like in December, first week of December, second week of December. And then I was hired my staff in January. And so those guys were gone. We couldn't even make a run at not a real one at Mims and Rivers. Obviously they're great football players, and it's, as I think it's obvious, it's really important to us to do a great job recruiting the Bay Area. I mean, that's a critical part for us, and our roster reflects that. And if you look at the players that are making big impacts on the field for us, a lot of them are Bay Area players, which we feel great about. And that's exactly how we want it. We want the local fans to be able to come out and watch the local kids play good football in Spartan Stadium. So, I think it's always a battle recruiting with Fresno. They've done a great job. They got a good program. They got nice facilities. They have some of those things, but I think we have a lot of great things here too. And, I think as we continue to improve and grow our program, we're going to have more and more of those battles, and those situations get more and more intense, as we play better football and have a more complete program. And we got the facility coming in 23, which is going to have a huge impact on our program. I think that's going to be really, really exciting. And so, I'm excited about where we're headed, and I look forward to all those battles.
Jackson, another question?
Yeah, Coach, with your next game being on a Thursday and particularly unique being so early in the day, how much of a bye week is this bye week? Where does it kind of blend between your normal game week and the extra time you have?
So we'll treat this a little bit like a bye week, and then we'll structure our weekend next weekend a little bit more like a game week. So just we'll kind of back everything up a couple days if you can follow that. But I think there is a lot. The good news is we're on national TV, and that's been those, and everyone's going to be watching. It's a Thanksgiving Day game. Like, everybody watches football on Thanksgiving, don't they? I mean, I hope so. This is America, right? I'm excited for us to have that opportunity. And we've had a Thursday game, we had a Friday game, and like I said, we'll play whenever they tell us. We'll just be excited to play.
Max, going to you.
Coach, this is the only time this year where you're going to have back-to-back home games. Can you talk to me about how, with this being so late in the season and everything you've worked on, is having these last two games, this last week against Utah State and this week against Fresno State, well, next week really, do you feel like you have more time to not necessarily prepare, but you kind of have less things to worry about in terms of travel and things like that? You can focus on football, you and the team, especially with not having to travel and this extra time given the timing of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad that we don't have to travel. I think when you have the crowds that we've had at CEFQ and the atmosphere that's been at CEFQ, that really is exciting to get a chance to play in front of that group again. Anytime we can play a home game, we would rather do that than travel. I mean, that's just so such a big game with so much such an impact on the conference and on the season. Like I said earlier, I am very hopeful that we get a great turnout from our fans and our students and our alums for what is going to be a really big game, playing for the Valley Trophy with a lot of exciting stuff on the line.
Vitas, going back to you.
Coach, we didn't talk about this on Saturday, but Cal Harmon had 18 more tackles, which I'm guessing has to be close to a career high, if not around there. And now he's so close to being at the, to finish at most tackles in the entire nation. I mean, to have somebody competing for, that statistical honor, I mean, what does it say just about his effort and his impact?
Kyle Harmon is an awesome young man, and there's a Bay Area kid for you. He's a Bay Area kid doing big things for us. Awesome young man, and I think the great thing about Kyle is his level of performance and his consistency is so high, and that is a direct reflection of the time and energy and effort he puts into his process. He's super diligent about how he goes about his day-to-day physical, mental, emotional preparation for each game. And that, throughout the whole course of the offseason, I literally saw Kyle Harmon every day. He was here every day, and he was either getting extra training room, extra weight room. He was stretching, he was getting rolled out. He was, in the boots, getting his, just really a real pro approach to his process. And the results are this, right? And, him leading the nation in tackles, that's what's really exciting. Is I think it's a great lesson for our younger players that if you work really hard and you take care of your body and you make good choices off the field, that is going to translate into playing good football, right? We don't have to worry about Kyle going to class. He's on it. We don't have to worry about him being on time. He's on it. He's extra. I saw him today. It's just that part of him is just tremendous. And I think it's just a great lesson for all of our young players and everyone in our program that if you put in the work, you will get the results. Work works.
Jackson, back to you.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned stuff that's on the line for this game, and it just seems like the last weekend's result could be a deflating one, just looking at the score alone. Just what is your feel on how the team's motivation and energy is at the moment, and trying to accomplish some things here on this last game that are still up for grabs?
We're going to be in a really good place, Jackson. I mentioned earlier, I think V just asked me a question about that, but I haven't seen the entire team yet. But I know that, our conversation as a team in the locker room after the game was a big time reality check. And, the way that the mistakes in that game, whether it was a turnover or a penalty, those things stacked and made that thing get as lopsided as it was. Those are things that we have to take ownership of and find a way to move forward and find a way to, through film review, effort, practice, keep finding ways to eliminate those costly turnovers or those penalties and those things that really, really impacted the game negatively for us, especially as it got later in the game.
Max, do you have another question?
Yeah, I got one last one. Coach, I'm sure you guys know your record, the whole team, is the fact that this being the last game of the year and having 5 wins just mean that one more to be considered bowl eligible and get a bowl game. I know that's not something that you necessarily preach to the team. You try to think of it as nothing special, but is that something that you or anybody in the room is thinking about?
No, we're definitely preaching that to the team in this circumstance. This is really a huge moment for our team. We haven't been back-to-back bowl games, I think, in 35 years. And so trying to build a consistent program, how do you do that? How do the teams in our conference sustain their level of success year in and year out? And my belief is because they get to the postseason, they get an extra 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month of practice. And so it's like having an extra spring practice. And the best way to get good at football is by practicing football and playing in a game. And so, when I look at Fresno or San Diego State or Boise State or Nevada's consistency, what I realize is that a big part of that is that every year in and year out, they've been in the postseason, and it's been all those practices for their young players and the development of the freshmen that you're expecting to play next fall. Like all that stuff compounds over time. And that's why it's so important for us to play good football against Fresno State, on Thanksgiving.
Jackson, do you have another question?
Yeah, Coach, I'm sure we'll talk more about your senior class next week, but one player I wanted to ask you about was one I interviewed in high school. He called San Jose State his dream school. He was in the stands, and Stephen Houston was a season ticket holder and then got to put the pads on. I was just curious if you could tell a little bit about his development and his journey as a player in your program.
He's just been an awesome guy for our program. He's got this big smile, this huge personality. He's kind of a sports almanac. So if there's like a sports argument going on, you can expect him to like jump right in the middle of it and get involved in that conversation. He's really a neat kid, and it's really fun to see. He's been able to play in some games a little bit this year for us. And so his process of development, coming in, being a walk-on player and this being his dream to be a part of it. He's had some pretty memorable experiences over the last few years. And so it's awesome to send those guys out and to get to share in that moment of them celebrating, the seniors as they run on or as they come on the field with their parents. Okay, everybody. See you later.
All right. Thanks everyone for attending. Once again, San Jose State final regular season game of the year inside CEFCU Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, 12:30 kickoff against Fresno State. Crazy George bobblehead day, 408-924-7589 or sjsuspartans.com for your tickets. Thanks for attending this week, and we'll catch you next time.